messenger apps like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, they're now the #1 form of communication in the world. There's 5 times more messenger messages sent than text messages.
Your co-founder and chairman, Chris George, is here, and I'm here with Matt Leitz, who is the co-founder and CEO of Bot Builders. Bots and AI are becoming more and more important and more prevalent. Can you just give us a quick intro on you and Bot Builders? Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I'm a relevant guest because I've been a subscription guy for my entire business career, well over a decade. Had subscription boxes a lot like the ones that you see behind you. I used to own a company called BoardGames.com in a previous life. Bot Builders came about very accidentally, because I'm sure there's a lot of people on here excited about this new technology, but there's probably even more people who are like, what the hell is this thing, AI? I have no interest in this crap. And I was the same way. We've always had the competitive advantage in all of our companies that we go above and beyond with customer support and that human touch. So when I heard bots, I was immediately just like, dude, I don't want anything to do with this. Keep it away from me. And what I really discovered was that you're never going to replace people. What bots can do is create more of those interactions and get those conversations started. So as soon as I really dipped my toe in the bot game, I just realized very quickly, this is where things are going. And really, it's what people want and needs.
Love it. And I have some initial thoughts on what we might call the closest replacement to face-to-face interaction at a retail level.
Right.
But even before we get into that, for those that maybe are not familiar with bots, just give us the high-level cliff notes, like what is it exactly?
So a bot is just anything that creates an automated two-way conversation with a prospect or a customer that allows them to get a customized, personalized experience. And I think, what you're alluding to is the ability to sort of use it as a bridge between, where they are, which might be clueless or in need or wanting to buy something or not even knowing they're interested in buying something, and actually getting what they want, whether that be through, an online channel or it would be to connect with an actual person. So really understanding the delineation, frankly, I think that the hype cycle of bots has probably already gone up and gone down and been all over the place. A lot of people in the business world, especially small businesses, probably are referring mostly to messenger bots or chat bots, which live on a platform such as Facebook Messenger, which, at this point, what's exciting and what really made me go, okay, cool, I'm all in on this thing, is that at this point, messenger apps like Facebook Messenger, like WhatsApp, like Instagram, they're now the #1 form of communication in the world. There's 5 times more messenger messages sent than text messages. Wow. It dwarfs email and even phone calls. And
so the open rates are way higher too on Messenger, right?
For sure. Absolutely. And it's one of those things, Chris, where, I think that's kind of what attracted everybody to bots. So imagine you got a bot. It gives you the ability to attract leads by giving them a unique experience, like, hey, get help without having to whatever, or try this thing out, or whatever that unique hook is. And then it generates leads. And this is what I always say is the biggest thing about bots, is especially if you're using like a Facebook Messenger or a platform like that, is that Facebook already knows their email. All right. And to your point, a lot of people are attracted to bots because they go, oh, my email open rates are down. Let me use Messenger. First of all, just to be completely upfront, when it comes to Messenger, you can't be marketing to people as hard as you can on email.
You can't dilute it. People will, it's like spamming them, right?
And please don't too, right? But the thing that a lot of people overlook is the ability to generate leads with a bot. Because imagine that you get somebody into your chat bot and they could do that in literally a dozen different ways. They could click on a link in an email. They could click on a button on your website. They could send you a message on Facebook. There's so many ways to get people into your bot. And once they get into your bot, now they're a messenger subscriber, meaning you can send messages like you're referring to out to them. But here's the kicker, especially if you're somebody who's like, man, I need to grow this email list, or like, I need to get my text list going, is because platforms like Facebook Messenger and soon to be Instagram and WhatsApp, like very soon. Because they have your they have people's contact information. Now they can collect info with one click. And if, this is the kind of thing that the gurus, Chris, don't like to talk about. But over the years, what's happened, and I just know this because we've generated millions of leads online, what's happened is that the opt-in rate on these landing pages is just gradually just gone down through the years, because people are just sick of squeeze pages. It's just like, it's just stuff's getting old. So when they get into your bot now, because Facebook Messenger has email, the bot can just say, hey, is this the best email to reach you at? One click, boom. And what we're seeing is instead of getting the, 20, 25, 30% email opt-in rates on the landing page, now we're getting 60, 70% email opt-in rates using a bot. And now we've got Messenger, now we've got email, and you also can get one-click phone numbers. So
I think what's really important, and if you're a brand that's not using bots in some sort of fashion, on the retail level, if 100 people walked in your store, your conversion rate's much higher than if 100 people went to your website. Part of it is that face-to-face interaction. A person's going out to them, they're answering their questions. On an e-commerce level, you might get 10,000 clicks to your site. You can't have 10,000 people talk to them. So bots allow for this. So you can build out flows. That's like if they say this, it'll answer this, right?
Yep, and you use the word flow. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, that's the key word. Because what bots are is that if you think about it, like to think of it as a third generation of marketing. First generation being just like the one-way old school, a billboard or a phone, right? And then email was revolutionary because that was permission-based marketing. Now you're giving me something, giving me permission to send it. And now this is a new generation, which is called conversational marketing. And it's exactly like you described. So imagine instead of one way, now it's a flow, right? Meaning they engage in conversation and we take them down this choose your own adventure kind of path, collecting information from them the entire time. And, depending on what you sell, like if you sell a $19 subscription box, maybe you don't want a lot of human interaction. Maybe you want to let the bot sell for you. But if you sell higher ticket items, right, or you've got a team of people and a staff of people, once they engage in that conversation, you can jump in at any moment.
This is where I like to believe in bots is, when is my product shipping? Like, we want a bot to answer that. Is this going to arrive before Christmas? We want a bot to answer that. Or like, what's my return policy? Bot. But if it's like, well, they like the size, or did this come in other colors? Or again, if it's high ticket item, then I want someone to get in there. 100%. I know they're high percentage chance of converting. I want to get a human in there to start selling.
You just explain bots the way that I usually try to explain them perfectly, right? It gets rid of the noise, but it creates more of the money conversations, right? Those things that you want to be talking about, and it just preps people. I mean, we have people selling everything from coffee mugs to houses using bots. So,
are they using it successfully? Not just on Messenger, because I think Messenger is a little bit new, but chat has been around. So just chatting on the site, they're using it for all of that, right? So the chat, Messenger. And I mean, God, it's a no-brainer. Like
the thing that's always been the winning formula for me is automating. As a business owner, your job is to make investments. And the way that I look at it is, hey, I can invest in a million things, but when I invest in automation, it's something that can just keep working for me year after year after year after. I mean, we're still making money from things I automated over a decade ago.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's that whole, when should I start automating? I think it's Warren Buffett. He said, when's the best time to start investing 10 years ago? When's the next best time is right now. So
and right now, automation and bots and Facebook Messenger is hot. Like, what do you think is next? Like, is it voice? Like, what is it that you think comes after bots?
Here's what I do know is there's no question that voice is a big deal. No question.
Yep.
And the big boy companies will always capitalize on it. And I'm not saying that there's not some smart people that can figure out how to cover niche in it. Here's what I do know is it's really damn hard to get something done with voice automation. Like if you really are trying to achieve something, I don't think that the interface of typing something in or clicking a button is going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep.
It's really more of the interface that I think is sort of the future here. When I made that decision was when I looked at it and I looked around and I go, okay, these guys are doing this, Facebook's doing this, Apple's doing this. And then I went to a tech conference, which I was like the least nerdy person in the room. And the director, the partnership director for Google was there. And I got the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with him. And he started telling me about something called RCS, Rich Communications Standard or something. But ultimately what it is it's going to be the new SMS, right? We all know text message and that's not going anywhere. But the reality of it is a little bit old school. So what RCS is ultimately this sort of bot interface brought to basically to replace old school SMS.
But people haven't been using SMS for marketing. They're starting to do that no more now, right?
It's just a no-brainer, right? Because it's one of those things it's like people say, well, should I stop investing in email or text? Like, hell no. I say do anything where you can reach your people where they are easily. What's the return on investment on it, sending a text message or sending an email?
I mean,
It's
it's like a
no-brainer,
99%
right?
open rate on the text.
It's like do it.
Yeah.
Like do it. But what's unique is imagine that you get a bot built right now. Yeah, you got to make a little investment and, a little time, little money, whatever. But you get a bot now while it's Facebook Messenger specific. And then as these new channels open up, like what is it when you have this interface on, for example, an iPhone, and you don't need to download Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or Instagram, but it's just the way that this works. Because what I've realized is that the same interface is just basically a message with 3 buttons, right? Or maybe some more buttons, or whatever, and it's this interactive sort of, they say this, you do this, you tag this, It's all the same stuff. So you do these Facebook Lives on Fridays. Well, one of the 10 whatever ways that you can get people into your bot or get people interacting with your bot is if they comment on any form of Facebook post, including a Facebook Live.
Wow.
Right? So imagine somebody is on your live, they send a comment, and just now, like literally brand new, you can actually have a dynamic response based on their comment. Say it's the first time they've commented, or they're not subscribed to your bot, or whatever it might be. And it's like, hey, really appreciate you being on my live. If you want me to shoot you a reminder every week when I go live, click this button below. And now you're building your subscriber list, right? At first it was like everybody was just spamming the crap out of people, right? Now our bots, most of them had like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So when we would send out a message that was like they didn't like, they would kibosh us, like they would hit us, while the little guy was just like over here spamming like crazy, and they never really paid attention. So I knew early on, like Facebook doesn't necessarily want you, they want to keep it clean. They want to keep their environment super pristine. So we were basically following guidelines that they hadn't even put out yet, just to be preemptive. So this thing happened where basically they made it so they don't want you, sending out messages if people aren't interacting with you on a repetitive basis. So because we had basically we put ourselves in front of that, and we built all of our chatbots in such a way that they just run fully compliant, and then maximize every single thing. Anytime somebody comes in the world, we just build them in such a way where it's like, okay, cool. Have you sold them this yet? Yes. Okay, then sell them this. Oh, you already sold that? No, sell them this. And we just make the whole thing, work like magic and follow all the guidelines.
Matt, before we end here, because this is awesome. What's happening with WhatsApp? You said they're coming out with something. What's going on?
You probably know Facebook gobbled up. They bought WhatsApp. They bought Instagram. So basically the 3 biggest platforms for messaging are now owned by the same company. So they're slowly open, depending when you're listening to this at home. Maybe they've already done it. I don't know, right? But it's been in this coming soon state where they're just basically opening up the protocol in such a way where you can have these sort of interactions with your users.
Like and cross-platform.
All cross-platform, and how it's going to, how that all integrates is still, left to be seen. And there might be some little things to kind of button up, when they do it, but it doesn't matter. It's just like you get there before everybody else.
I mean, look, it sounds like you're doing amazing things. Matt, this was super insightful. In my opinion, this is something you should be having if you're in e-commerce. So tell me, how can people get in touch with you?
Just go to our website, botbuilders.com. Super easy to find us. You go there. Actually, I've got a free training that, will kind of walk you through a little bit more of how they work exactly, but more importantly, how do you go about implementing this into your business? We support our people big time in the community. So if we get the opportunity to work with you, I'd love to see some SUBTA, listeners.
Yeah, for sure. Look, for those listening, Matt isn't just building bots, but he's been in the subscription space. He understands that world. He understands the different communication tool and the marketing around that. So check him out. Check out Bot Builders.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Thanks so much, man.